Walter and Lena Gutierrez. We have Jairo, Maria, and Valentina Martinez here with us this morning. They're going to come up and have a seat up here and join me this morning. So, church, as they're coming and getting situated, let me just kind of bring all of this together, because we've been making an emphasis on the Annie Armstrong Easter offering this entire month. We've seen some videos each week emphasizing a different planter, a church planter, or a missionary here in North America. Well, today we have the wonderful opportunity of meeting some folks who are a part of that ministry, a part of this North American Mission Board ministry, and are seeking to plant churches here in the United States, specifically in Wisconsin. And so you're going to hear more about that in a moment. But today we are observing the Annie Armstrong Easter offering. So if you've been praying about what you would like to give towards that, today is the day that we're going to be officially collecting that. And there's a couple ways you can do that. There's special envelopes on the table out in the foyer that say Annie Armstrong Easter offering, so you could write a check or put a tithe or offering there. Outside of that, you can do it online. And so if you use our app or our online giving, there's a special drop-down box that has this offering listed as well. But today, we wanted you to have the opportunity to meet these folks, hear from them. So we're just going to have a kind of an informal interview here. We're going to ask some questions, and you're going to get the opportunity to meet them. Now, let me kind of set this up and explain how I got connected with them. If you all remember, back in November, I had the opportunity to go to Wisconsin on a vision trip. Our association here in Franklin County is seeking to develop a partnership with that association, with the Southern Wisconsin Baptist Association. And so these planters are from that association and are being involved in ministry there. Now, in addition to that, I've had the opportunity to not only meet them, but other planters as well. So we'll talk to you more about an opportunity you have this evening to hear from more than just these planters as well. But I want you just briefly, real quick, introduce yourselves and to tell us about your family. We'll start there, and just about the location of your church. So Walter, I'll let you start, and we'll begin.
Good morning.
Oh, I think it's on.
What's up? Yeah.
Let me see. Maybe.
Maybe not.
Now it is.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Walter Gutierrez, and my wife,
Lina.
I'm originally from Honduras. My wife is from Mexico. And, well, we both graduated from Rio Grande Bible Institute in South Texas. We are just 10 minutes from the border with Mexico, where my wife used to live in Reynosa. And, well, God bring us to Wisconsin a year and a half. And we are located, our church is located in Milwaukee area. We're in the south side of Milwaukee, and we are working among the Hispanic community.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Thank you. So, Jairo, you and your family?
Good morning, family. My wife is Maria. My daughter is Valentina. Yo también me gradué en Rio Grande Bible College
I also graduated from Rio Grande Bible
en artes bíblicas con énfasis pastoral.
in biblical arts with focus in pastoral.
En el 2011 llegamos a Río Grande y somos de Bogotá, Colombia.
We arrived in 2011 to Rio Grande, and we are from Colombia, Bogotá.
En ese momento estamos ministrando en dos pueblos directamente que se llaman Waterloo y Marshall, Wisconsin.
In this moment, we're ministering in two towns, in Waterloo and Marshall, in Wisconsin.
Perfect. Excellent. So just to describe for you all, when we were in Madison, where Jairo is located, is just right outside of Madison, Wisconsin. It's a community that looks similar to Washington, rural, and so beautiful farmland, beautiful country, so just more spread out. And then obviously Milwaukee is urban. It is the city. And so you'll hear more about that here in a moment. I want you guys now to describe the town, the cities that you're located, and also the people that are there. And so obviously we talked a little bit about this more last night as well. But just want you to share a little bit about the city, the community that God has called you to, and the people that are there, and what opportunities you see there.
Well, we are located in the, as I said, in the Southside of Milwaukee. We were talking about that this morning. The last year I made a study about our area, and our zip code is one of the zip code has most Hispanic population. And I just realized last night that now our population is about 28,000 Hispanic. They are people from, most of our population are from Puerto Rico, but we have people coming from Central America, from Mexico, South America. Last week I met a guy from Colombia. He makes some good arepas by our house, and we enjoy our time with the people. It's a little bit hard to work with the people in the cities. They are just focused on work. It's a little bit hard to approach them. They don't have time. Some of the people has 2 or 3 jobs, and they don't have time to go to church, or they only have time to go on Wednesday and Sunday, and they don't want to know anything more about church during the week. And yeah, but we are doing different things to try to reach the community. We are trying to do some things to go outside. I was telling the pastor yesterday and the team, when we moved to Milwaukee, the people think the church was closed. And that's why we need some help also to make some makeover to our church. But the people can know that we are there. We are doing different things to try to go outside, but still the people believe that the church is like kind of closed.
Right. Yeah. Well, just to clarify something that Walter had shared here, we were talking last night, and I appreciated his heart to go back and dig into this some more. Initially, that number that you shared of 28,000, remember, that's in a zip code, okay? That's not in the entire city of Milwaukee. That is in one zip code. There are 28,000 Hispanic-speaking people in that area. And so, and that 100,000 in the city, and you even said that grew from about 18,000 was what you thought. So a high volume there, and so there's lots of need there. So Jairo and your family, tell us about Waterloo and Marshall, a little bit about those communities there.
Okay, en Marshall y Waterloo llegan muchas personas a trabajar en la cosecha.
So in Marshall and Waterloo, we have a lot of seasonal workers that come for about 6 months to work in the nurseries.
Porque y también en la fábrica del pepino, del queso.
But we also have a lot of pickles, sorry. Like fabrics, pickles, cheese, and bicycles. So there's a lot of workers that come for that too.
La mayoría de ellos son mexicanos.
Most of the workers are from Mexico.
Con una trascendencia, o vienen de estar como católicos no profesantes.
With a background of Catholics not professing.
Y nuestro compromiso como creyentes es poner en práctica lo que nos dice 2 Corintios 5, 17 al 22.
And our compromise as believers is to put in practice what 2 Corinthians
5, 17 al 22.
5:17 to the 22 says.
Donde nos dice que nosotros somos embajadores de Cristo Jesús.
Where it says that we're ambassadors of Jesus Christ.
Y que tenemos que enseñar lo que el Señor nos ha entregado para que toda persona crea y para que toda persona escuche de Dios, porque Dios es lo que quiere hacer.
Where we have to share with the Lord sends us to share His gospel and show our love to them, or God's love through us to them.
Y estas personas llegan, aunque llegan regularmente a la cosecha, muchos también se quedan en la ciudad. Y ellos, nosotros estamos evangelizándolos, estamos haciendo estudios bíblicos y les estamos tratando de llevar regularmente, diariamente el Evangelio?
So some of them that come for work, they stay sometimes. So we're trying to reach them and teach them about the Bible and about God.
Excellent, excellent. And so, in conjunction with that, I would like for you guys to just share us a little bit, and I appreciate you talking about those communities. And one thing you saw in the pictures, church, and we talked about this last night, it's very cold in the winter, as you said. And so it seems like winters can sometimes begin in October and last even until like 2 weeks ago, so or something like that. So you'll see some of that in the pictures as well. But lots of just beautiful, beautiful country up there. I know when we were there in November and had the opportunity to go to Madison, Madison's a beautiful city as well. You have the University of Wisconsin that's right there. You also have, that's obviously the capital. So lots of life happening there between education and government, but then just not far, where you're at in Waterloo and Marshall, you've got a very different type of community, and you drove maybe 15 minutes. So very interesting just how all that's set up, and very beautiful part of the country. Didn't get to go to Milwaukee, but had the opportunity to spend some time with you guys there. So you've shared with us about your churches, your communities. Now tell us a little bit about the strategies that you have in place to reach those communities. So you touched on this briefly, got into this more last night. Walter, you said people are really interested in work. They just want to work all the time. Even last night, Jairo and his family were telling us about how both the men and the women, particularly the men, like to just go and do their own thing, separate from the family. When they get off work, you won't see men hanging out with the families, which makes ministry very complicated and interesting. So just give us some insight, if you would, about the strategies that you currently have in place and what you're praying through as far as how to reach the people. And where do you see God at work? Where do you see some things happening?
Yeah, we are, as I said, when we moved to this church, the people believed the church was closed. Mm-hmm. And part of the thing we were doing last year was giving food for free for the community. There's a lot of food pantries in Milwaukee, but in our zip code, there's no food pantries. And this was one of the ways we tried to make the people know that we are there. We also do some work with the homeless. We also go outside with some of the men and bicycles and share the gospel in our area. The women has a women meeting every Friday, but one Friday they used to go to the laundries and share the gospel a little bit with the people. And as I said, the people is so very, very busy, and sometimes you need to go to the place like laundries, like the grocery store, and just step in the outside of the grocery store and give some papers about the church, because the people is running all the time, and they really don't want to go to church. They work Sunday and Saturday also. That was just a little bit hard. This year we started our men meetings, and we are trying also to focus to bring some friend of the men of the church to our meetings. And also other thing we do when we move to Milwaukee is start setting up the Facebook page, right. Our webpage. And some of the people that God is bringing to the church has found the church in internet, in Google or Facebook. And that has been a really blessing. And also because we are doing more things to reach the community, the people is now like seeing there's a church. And last Wednesday we have a new lady coming to our church, and when we asked her how she knows about the church, she said she just was crossing the street and see the church, and she wants to she's trying to look for a good church. We are praying a lot for God bringing the people to our church, because as I said, we have a lot of churches but no healthy churches. We have different background churches, and we struggle a little bit with our community because, as I said at the first time, our community is most from Puerto Rico, and Puerto Rican are Pentecostal background. they don't want to go to a Baptist church because they say we are a little bit quiet and there's no music. Yeah, but we are trying. The thing is, in our church, we are doing most of the things. My wife and I sing, clean, and everything, and take the offering and everything. And that's the thing. It's a little bit hard, but please pray for us that God guide us. That way we can reach the community. Because we don't want to use our own strategies. Right. We want God putting in our heart the way He's going to bring people to our church.
Mm-hmm. And Lena, would you be willing to just share a little bit about, I know you're getting involved with the kids and the women there. So could you describe that a little bit, just what that looks like for you right now? And sorry, before you begin, Walter, I remember you saying last night that you guys would be the only Hispanic Baptist church in that city, correct? Or in that area.
Yeah.
So that's significant, just to think about the weight of the opportunity there. So yeah, but kids and women ministry.
Yeah. For the women ministry, I'm addressing that ministry. I think this is the strongest ministry in the church. We have like 10 to 15 women coming every week to study and to share the gospel once a month. So that's a strong ministry. For the kids, we only have 3 kids. And this is like one of our biggest prayers to God to bring new kids. Mm-hmm. We have been trying like summer day camp for years now, but not really new kids are coming to the church. And this is something that worries us because we don't see the new generation as believers. And maybe if the thing's still the same, we see the church maybe don't endure so many years. That's one big prayer and something we need to invest on the kids. So that's how the ministry looks.
Yeah. Just to add something else, I don't know if it's the same thing with the Anglo churches, but in Hispanic churches, the women ministry basically run the churches because the men don't want to make a commitment to serve. We only have like 4 men in our church because some of the husbands of the ladies don't want to come to church, and it's a little bit hard to work with them. And you're gonna hear from Jairo also how they struggle a little bit with the men coming to the church.
That's right. So Jairo, let's have you answer that same question. Those current strategies that you have in place, those challenges that you're facing, and how you're seeking to address that at your church.
Cuando nosotros llegamos allí a Waterloo y Marshall, lo primero que hicimos, porque teníamos que comenzar de cero, no conocíamos a nadie totalmente.
The first thing we did when we arrived to Marshall, since we didn't know anybody and we were starting from nothing, 0.
Y entonces íbamos a cualquier tienda o a cualquier lugar donde estuviéramos y veíamos a una persona hispana y íbamos a saludarlos.
Was that we would go to a store or Hispanic store. Oh, I already said that's all right. We would just see some like Hispanic person coming, and we will try to go and say hi to them.
Pero ellos se asustaban.
But that would kind of scare them away.
Entonces, con los primeros que pudimos conocer y poder establecer como una relación de contacto inicial, ellos nos hicieron referencia a otras personas.
So we were able to meet some people, and they were like introducing us to more people. So that's how we kind of started.
Eso fue lo primero. Lo segundo fue que nosotros fuimos puerta a puerta a conocer a las familias hispanas porque ellos están en un solo lugar.
So the second thing we did was to find basically where they were all living, which is a trailer park. There's different trailer parks, and we kind of went door to door knocking, and we brought them like a present, maybe cookies, and we introduced ourselves and kind of just to get more connected to them in a less scary way.
Lo segundo que hicimos fue tratar de invitar a la mayoría de los hispanos a una reunión o a una fiesta de bloque.
And the second thing that we did was to do like a block party, but more private, just to the people that we were like trying to get connected with, not just in a regular like park. So like it was just more personal. That way we could get more connected with them and have like the time to talk to them personally.
Pero inicialmente comenzamos con los padres de los niños que el Señor nos permitió tener como ministerio desde el comienzo. Sí.
So we arrived in August, and in July we were able to already have a group of kids, which was about 12 or 15 kids, and that's the people that we focused on. So that's the people we try to do the block parties for, so we can get more connected with them.
Sin embargo, cada semana y todos los días de la semana estaba en especial yo tratando de ir y conocer más personas en todos los lugares de los dos pueblos.
And even though we were still doing that, we were trying to get more, to get to know more people, so going to stores and stuff like that.
Entregando folletos,
And giving out flyers of the church.
tarjetas de presentación. ¿Sí? Ah, ok.
Sorry, sometimes I say when he's gonna say.
Covered that.
Como les comentaba, teníamos el Ministerio de Niños y a raíz del Ministerio de Niños pudimos hacer contacto con los padres y poder hacer también estudios bíblicos por medio de ellos también.
So through the kids ministry, we were able to get to know the parents and start Bible studies at homes.
Y cuando estábamos en los estudios bíblicos, yo le decía a los de la casa, inviten a los vecinos.
And when we were in the Bible studies, my dad would tell them, "Oh, invite your neighbors."
No importaba que ellos estuvieran 2 minutos o 3 minutos. La idea era que pudieran conocer que estábamos haciendo un estudio bíblico en la casa.
It didn't matter if they were there for like 5 minutes or 10. We just wanted them to know that we were doing Bible studies. That way they can also get to know us.
En la primera casa que comenzamos con un señor de 45 años y su mamá y la suegra de la mamá.
Okay.
Luego vinieron otras 6 personas en la siguiente semana.
So in the first Bible study, we started with 3 people, and in the next week, in the same Bible study, 6 more people were added to the Bible study.
Pero hemos tenido al menos 4 estudios bíblicos el día miércoles, que es el día que he definido para los estudios bíblicos en casa.
On Wednesdays, we have 4 different Bible studies in 4 different homes with a lot of people.
Pero el Señor ha mostrado su trabajo en los niños. Los niños han sido fieles, aún en el invierno con 20 grados bajo cero, ellos quieren ir a la iglesia a escuchar de Dios.
But the Lord has shown His faithfulness in the kids ministry, which is still growing. And even if it's super cold, they still want to come to church and learn about God. And the kids ministry has been growing a lot. And
Ustedes vieron en una foto anterior mucha gente en las fiestas. O sea, los latinos iban a las fiestas, pero no a la iglesia.
So you probably saw in one of the pictures, there was a party and there was a lot of people there. This is like the family of the kids, but the parents don't come to church.
Y esa es la cultura que inicialmente hay que cambiarles a ellos en su cabeza.
So they just want to come to the parties that we do for them. We do Christmas parties, Thanksgiving, and we give them food, but they only come for the parties. They don't want to come for church, so that's what we're trying to work on.
Mi esposa también ha tenido trabajo. Ella está haciendo el ministerio de damas, también me ayuda con el ministerio de niños y las clases de música, de guitarra.
My wife's been working with the women, and she's doing the women's ministry and giving guitar classes.
Maria, could you tell us a little bit about that women's ministry and just about the kids too, just a little bit. I know you're very involved with both of those areas of ministry, just like Lena is at their church as well.
Bueno, good morning. El ministerio de mujeres ha sido lento. Me he hecho amiga de las mamás de los niños, mayormente las visito en su casa, pero para la iglesia solamente llegan 2 mamás y uno de los esposos de ellas.
The women's ministry has been slow. I have trying to get more connected with the mothers of the kids, but to church there's only 2 women that come and for the meeting and one of their husbands.
Pero sé que el Señor manda en su tiempo a las personas, toca el corazón en el tiempo de Él para fortalecer los lazos de su relación con Dios.
But I know that the Lord touches hearts, and in His time they will want to get to know more about God.
Una de estas señoras está aprendiendo también guitarra y tiene muchos deseos de agradar a Dios en todo y de discipular, evangelizar a su familia y a otras de las amigas nuestras.
One of the women that is learning guitar has a lot of desire to grow and to serve and to start discipling other women.
Eso sí, con las mamás de los niños tengo muy buena relación y de hecho, si Dios permite, vamos a estar haciendo un paseo al arca de Noé con 3 de ellas.
I do have a lot of connection
niños.
with the mothers of the kids, and God willing, we're gonna be doing a trip to the Noah's Ark with the 3 moms and their kids.
Porque eso sí, para la fiesta y los paseos, eso sí se apuntan rapidito.
Because for parties and for trips, they're always the first ones to be there.
Pero sé que Dios usa eso y que no es en vano. El Señor en algún momento toca los corazones y es de pronto en el menos momento que uno lo espera.
But I know the Lord uses those things, and in the least moment that we expected, He's going to be touching their hearts.
En cuanto al ministerio de los niños, ha sido un ministerio que ha permanecido subiendo, gracias a Dios.
The kids ministry has been growing a lot.
Y muchas veces cuando me siento un poco desanimada porque no veo, personalmente como mujer me desanimo porque no veo que la gente mayor venga a la iglesia.
And personally, whenever I feel down because I don't see the grown-ups coming to church,
Dios toca mi corazón a través de los niños.
God uses the kids to touch my heart.
Tuve la bendición de escuchar a uno de estos niños orar, diciéndole al Señor, gracias por lo que los pastores hacen por nosotros y por todo lo que estamos conociendo de ti.
I had the blessing to hear one of the kids pray and say, thank you for the pastors and for everything that they're doing for us to learn about you.
Y justo ese día fue el día en que más me quejé de que las personas no quisieran venir a la iglesia.
And that was the day, in that morning was when I was saying, God, why they're not coming to church?
Y Dios me...
And God slapped me.
That's exactly right. Well, thank you so much for sharing. And you can hear just in their answers, there's a lot of need, and we want to just continue to pray about how the Lord would perhaps move us and encourage us to come alongside and help them make some connections with some folks that are there, which leads to this next question, and let you guys share some details about the needs that your churches have. And I know, Walter, for you right now, it's a lot of really tangible things. You know, you're working on getting into a facility and getting it up to par, and so there's a lot of work, just physical work to be done. So I'll let you share some more about that and tell us how we could maybe be of help.
Yeah, I just to let you know a little bit about our church. They bought the building 7 years ago, but it was a really cheaper price. But you know, when you buy a building really cheap, it's because you need to invest a lot of money to make a lot of repairs. And the thing is, we have the repair from the very beginning, most all the things that have been going on through these 7 years. We have plumbing problems. We had a structure problem, roofing problem, electrical problems, carpet problems. We have a lot of things at our church. Me and my wife, we have been moving, talking with different people to find some help, some support. Our churches are really small. We are like faithful people who attend every Sunday. We are like 18 to 20. Sometimes we have 25, 35, but faithfully coming every Sunday are 18. And COVID also make a big impact in our churches. That's why we need help. I was telling my wife, is one of the reasons I think God bring us to the state is also to help our churches in our countries. Mm-hmm. But I told her it's really hard for me to need to look for help here and also expect people from my country helping us here in our ministry because our church is really small. But please pray for God provide the finances to do all the things we need. We were talking with the pastor yesterday, and just for the plumbing, we need between $7,000 to $25,000 to repair. We have been having problem with our basement for more than 1 year. We have a lot of, sorry, it sounds really terrible, gross, but we have a lot of human waste coming out of the pipes in the basement. We have a lot of water when the people use the restroom, when we take a shower. The thing is, we live in the second floor of the church, and we are struggling with the thing every single day. But we need just the fix our building. We also need some help to encourage our people to go outside. As I said, it's a little bit hard to move our people because they are focused on work. We were talking with the pastor, and maybe we need some help to encourage the people in the evangelistic area to go outside. We were talking about maybe we can have something to train a little bit. Not only my church, also your church, the people who goes in the mission trip can put in practice everything and go outside with us and share the gospel with the community in Milwaukee.
That's right. That's exactly right. So, Jairo, for you in Waterloo and in Marshall, what needs do you guys have right now, and how could our church come alongside and help?
Bueno, lo primero que nosotros necesitamos es fortalecer el ministerio.
What we need is to make the ministry stronger and for it to grow more.
Especialmente el ministerio de los niños.
Especially the kids ministry, since it's
Ya están creciendo físicamente, pero también espiritualmente.
They're growing physically, but also spiritually.
Y ellos reciben muy rápido, pero también piden muchas cosas.
They are open to receive a lot, but they also ask for a lot.
Eso es lo primero, estructurar el ministerio de jóvenes.
So maybe we need to structure the ministry for the kids.
En este momento somos embajadores de estos jóvenes y necesitamos darles el mensaje de Dios de tal forma que ellos puedan estructurarse y fortalecerse para toda su vida.
Right now we're ministering these kids, and we need to give them the gospel in a way where they're gonna be growing stronger for their life, their future lives.
Y se necesitan muchas cosas.
And for this we need a lot of stuff.
Muchas cosas que se puedan imaginar para ese ministerio con los niños.
And we need a lot of support with more people, because we have a big group of kids, but it's only us.
Con los adultos necesitamos también llegar a ellos y mantenerlos en la iglesia, mantenerlos enseñándoles, mantenerlos dándole la palabra del Señor.
And with the adults, we still need more to be interested in coming to church and wanting to learn and grow stronger in God. We have a group of adults that come on Sundays, which is 4 adults, but we need them to want to help with the kids and want to be part of the ministry.
Y en el verano pues es mucho trabajo y entonces necesitamos hacer una escuela bíblica de vacaciones para los niños.
And in the summers, where we do most of the work, and it's a lot of work, and that's when we need to do a VBS for the kids.
Y una fiesta de bloque para los adultos.
And also do a block party to get more in touch with the families.
That's exactly right. So, church, I just want to put before you just a couple of things to bring this all together. First of all, we talked about this last night. If you're thinking about an opportunity, I want to give you one right here and right now. So we are looking at and targeting the week of June 26th to July 2nd as an opportunity for us to go and be involved. And so we're working on the details of that. But one of the things that God used to draw me to these two and their families is the needs that they have. I think back to when we renovated our space here at Faith. We did nearly all of that work in-house. We hardly managed any of that outside of just the people and the skills that we had right here. And so where Walter's at with needing a lot of tangible needs in their building, that's certainly something I think God could use us to help meet that. And certainly with Jairo and Maria and their church and Valentina working so hard with kids, they just need some practical training and advice and just ways to help make connections, not just with the children, but with the parents. And so just having some manpower to do some events that allows them to focus in on some other areas could be really helpful. So we're working through the details of this, but at this point, we just want you to have this date in mind, be thinking about this, be praying about this. We will be sharing more information with you in the coming weeks and giving you all those specific details about cost and all that as well. But just know, please circle that and just pray. God, are you leading me to be a part of that in some way, shape, or form? So we'll continue to work through that. In addition to that, I also want you to know this. God has brought Spanish-speaking people and families to faith, which is something that we are praying through and processing. We have 3 families right now. One, the husband's from El Salvador. The other, the wife is from El Salvador. And actually, they were in Discover Faith at the same time, and they were having a conversation amongst themselves, and they found out that not only are they both from El Salvador, but they're from the same town in El Salvador. I mean, this is what God is doing right now here at Faith Baptist Church. And then we have another family, the wife is from Colombia, which is where you are from. So we are praying through, God, if you're doing this and you're bringing these people to us, how can we not only go and serve in the United States, but also that feel like we are working with the nations and then bring that knowledge and understanding back home to do what God has led us to do right here. So this is very strategic. This is not just a shotgun approach of just trying to pick somebody and randomly see how this works out. We want to see what God can and will do with this. So I would encourage you to come alongside, pray, ask the Lord, just put your offer before the Lord and say, God, how are you leading me and stirring me in this particular area? This morning, I want to close in praying for you guys. Can we just thank them for being here with us this morning and being our guests today? Yes, please.
So we brought you a little prayer card for our prayers, so you guys can have it in your mind. And we also did a little, like what we're doing, like our strategies and our activities, our usual activities, like for the kids in church, and what our plans for, like this 22, year 22, and our prayers and some of our information, just so you guys can have us in your prayers.
Thank you for mentioning that.
And
I'm
it's in
glad
the
you
back, I
caught
think.
that. It sure is. And so, church, it's out in our foyer on our table. They're right there. And then even after this week, we're going to put them on our Connect board underneath the Go portion. So you'll have those prayer cards and those prospect cards as well. Sorry, I'll get the right word out. Also, church, as we conclude, once you know about this opportunity, we've been sending out some information to you. We have the opportunity today as a church to serve in our community. 2 to 6 is the window of time. It's a come and go thing, but the Franklin County Foster Closet is a wonderful ministry here based out of Union. And so we're going to be serving there this afternoon, helping them sort clothes and go through their recent clothing drive that they had. So we sent out a link for you to sign up and register for that. But if you just want to come, you don't have to necessarily sign up. You can just be there anywhere between 2 and 6. Come, spend an hour there, whatever, leave, come back, however you want to do that. We just want you to know about the opportunities. This is an awesome opportunity for us today to put feet to what we're talking about. And all of this caps off, I mentioned earlier, it's not just these guys that are in town. We have several planters from Wisconsin who are here in our association right now at other churches. This is all leading up to a missions rally tonight at 6 p.m. at First Baptist Church Union. So they'll be there again. I will be there hearing from those. And you'll also get to hear from the team leader. His name's Mark Millman, who is the director of missions for that association and is leading the ministries there. So let's go to the Lord in prayer. Thank you so much for being here and for sharing. We are so excited to pray through this and process together. Let's take this to the Lord in prayer. Father, we thank you for this opportunity that we've had to hear from the Gutierrez family and the Martinez family. Lord, I pray specifically for them. I want to start first and foremost by just encouraging a healthy life, marriage, spiritual walk. Lord, I pray that those are the things that you would foster within them so that they can be able to serve well in the ways that you have called them to. Lord, I know that you've called them to an important work, as Walter has shared in many ways, and I know this is the same for Jairo and his family. They're doing everything. They're singing, they're leading the preaching, they're leading the women's ministry, the men's ministry, the kids' ministry, whatever it looks like. Lord, I know that there's a lot of things on their plate. And so I just pray that you would rejuvenate their soul as they head into this conference that they're going to in St. Louis over the next couple of days. I just pray that it would just be a worthwhile time of them just being fed. Lord, I also just pray that you would be with us as we think about and pray and consider how we could come alongside them and support them and encourage them. Lord, we know that you are doing a mighty work right here in our own church and who you're drawing to yourself and who you're saving, and Lord, even who you're ministering to beyond the walls of this building. So God, would you go before us? Would you stir our hearts? Would you be with these families and their ministries as they head back home in the next few days? And Lord, I do pray that those connections would be made. I appreciate their heart, that they're not looking just to host some kind of event or block party. They really want to minister to families. They want to see the gospel go forth in Waterloo and Marshall and in Milwaukee. So Lord, go before them and may you stir hearts and may you help people see their need for you and their need for the church. So God, thank you for this opportunity that we have had today. I pray for the opportunities that we have this afternoon to go serve and to hear more about what you're doing in Wisconsin. So God, may all of these things be for your glory. And we pray this in your precious and holy name. And all God's people said, amen. Thank you, church, for being here this morning. You are dismissed today. Thank you so much.